First Alert Forecast.
Well, our sunny and dry weather pattern will continue. You know, there was a thought about a week and a half ago that the brief rainy period we had that lasted just a few days would maybe last a little longer. Some forecast models were insistent we'd see something called a cutoff low, which is an area of low pressure that gets cut off from the jet stream and just lingers for a while. And as that happens, it can bring us several days worth of rain. It was looking like that could happen for a while. And then, of course, it didn't. But the jet stream pattern here doesn't really show any cutoff lows anytime soon. In fact, it's actually showing a strengthening ridge of high pressure through the weekend. So that's why it's going to be getting warmer from today to tomorrow and even into Sunday. High temperatures warming about 3 to 5 degrees each day, getting to the mid to upper 80s by Sunday afternoon. So not likely to be the hottest day over the next 7 as that ridge breaks down somewhat into early next week. But here we are Tuesday, and you notice kind of this lone area of at least lower pressure. This would be what is likely going to become a tropical storm that is just off the Atlantic coast right now and will likely spin its wheels across the southeast. There's a chance sometime next week, maybe midweek, we could get at least part of the cloud shield from that storm system. Depends on how big it gets and how far inland it comes too. But if we end up getting some of that cloud cover, we might end up being a bit cooler next week. But we're still not expecting any rain from this system, as it doesn't look to go much further than maybe Middle Tennessee, but then it kind of dissipates from there. Meanwhile, warm temperatures still look to remain pretty dominant through our area through late next week, possibly even into next weekend as another ridge begins to strengthen. Not really a lot of signs here that for at least the next 7 to 10 days that we're going to see much variety in our weather pattern from day to day. It is looking pretty consistent. So not as foggy tomorrow morning, may not really be foggy at all with the low humidity, not as much moisture to work with to get the fog as dense as it was this morning into the low 80s by tomorrow afternoon. Future temperatures show that after tomorrow's warm weather, Sunday will be even warmer, likely mid to upper 80s. We'll be within maybe 3 or 4 degrees of 90 in some spots, especially northwest Ohio. So yeah, it'll be kind of a hot day. And then back into the low 80s or so Monday afternoon, maybe a little cooler, closer to Lake Michigan. But a cold front will move through on Monday. And this will not only reinforce the dry air that's already in place, but it's going to keep things a bit cooler into next week too. So we're going to be seeing likely more 70s on average than 80s, especially by the end of next week. And October begins on Wednesday. It's not really going to feel probably much like October, but there will be a bit of a difference as far as the temperature trend is concerned. Here's a look at the rainfall. This is through the end of next week. Not much to track, really nothing to track locally, but there's all this tropical moisture along the southeast. So if you are headed to anywhere in the Carolinas, this may not be the best time to travel, and we're talking about mainly early to midweek next week. It is going to be a washout, looking at about 8 inches plus of rain along some coastal parts of North and South Carolina. A 7-day forecast looking sunny through Monday, highs in the mid-80s, 81 degrees on Tuesday, and then mid to upper 70s Wednesday through Friday of next week, with overnight lows in the upper 40s. We need a little more moisture for more vibrant color, but we are getting back to a pattern of cool days and at least cool nights, and mild days. That's a pretty good combo for fall color. I'm afraid, though, that we may end up seeing more brown than anything, given how dry it's been.
Yeah, and that happens in our state.
It does.
We just don't get enough rain. But hey, the humidity said, see ya, and I'm happy about that.
Me too.
Thank you, Matt. Yep.